Throughout Jesus' teaching, he constantly refers to the kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven. But what is it? What does it mean? Is this a hidden utopia, a fast track to paradise? You see, we have this longing inside of our hearts. Remember our first parents, Adam and Eve? They were banished from Eden, from this garden where God was taking care of all of their needs. Since then, we've longed to return to that place of perfect peace and a right relationship with God. Yet our hearts stray. Wickedness keeps us separate, and yet Jesus speaks of this kingdom of heaven or this kingdom of God as a way of us living and understanding what it means to live inside of Him, with His ways being a redeemed way to live through Him. So let's take a couple of glimpses into what the kingdom of heaven looks like. We're going to go ahead and go to Matthew chapter 13 in verse 18. And it says, "Listen to what the parable of the sower means. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. This is the seed sown along the path. The seed falling on rocky ground refers to someone who hears the word and at once receives it with joy. But since there is no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. The seed falling among the thorns refers to someone who hears the word, but the worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke the word, making it unfruitful. But the seed falling on good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who produces a crop yielding 160 or 30 times what was sown." So there's a couple of things we can learn right off the bat. Number one, this world, it's full of distractions. There are those who want the seed to fail. There's an enemy that's out there. There are these hardships that come, but also there's an enemy who distracts, who makes it difficult. Yet, with understanding, there's fruitfulness. It was the seed sown in the good soil that persevered, that made it through. You see, we are responsible to actively hear and invest in seeking the kingdom of God so that we may understand it and we may be fruitful. This isn't just like, oh, maybe if I get lucky, someone will explain it to me the right way. No, we have a responsibility to seek to understand and to be fruitful with our lives. The thing is, there is great truth, but the enemy does want to choke it out. But we can persevere, we can make it through. See, the kingdom has exponential growth. Look at what was sown. There's this promise of there's at least 160 or 30 times yield to what was invested. But you have to invest. You have to tend that garden of your heart. Now, there is a price to pay to have the kingdom, but the cost is far outweighed by the glory. It's far outweighed by what you yield inside of that investment. And another one of the stories that he shared, he talks about the hidden treasure of the kingdom of God. This is where we see how, yeah, you do lose some, but you get so much more. And he says in verse 44 of chapter 13, "The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought the field." Again, here's a second story. "The kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away, sold everything he had, and bought it." It's worth it to invest, to sell what you have, and to gain what heaven has to offer inside of right living, inside of being near the Lord, inside of pursuing His presence. He gives us far more than we could ever imagine. It may not be material things. He gives us Himself. He gives us wisdom. He gives us this peace and contentment, this confidence inside of knowing Him. That is worth everything.